Back now with political predictions for 2018. Bud and Ross both still with us here. And Ross, will switch over to you. 2018, the year of the Democrat for the Texas House.
I don't know if it's going to be the year of the Democrat completely. I think the Republicans are still going to have a comfortable majority when they get here in January 2019. But I think they'll slide from 95 seats that they have now to 90 or 89 seats. And I think a good part of that slide could come in Dallas County. It's a blue county. There are some Republicans there. Matt Rinaldi, Rodney Anderson, both have tough races in November. Could be a couple of others. And I think some of those 5 seats that I think the Democrats will pick up, they'll pick up in Dallas-Fort Worth.
Potentially 5 seats, but and he's right. It's still quite a ways to go before the Democrats get to a majority.
I think he's counting Dallas County because I don't see any of the Tarrant County House seats that are going to change, but one might, and it's not going to be a blue wave. There's just going to be some more little dots of blue in the House.
And you're talking specifically, Bud, your next prediction about a Senate seat.
State Senate 10 is considered the only swing seat in the Texas Senate. The last couple of campaigns have been $6, $7, $10 million campaigns to win this one seat.
That's Connie Burton's seat.
Connie Burton holds that seat now, and I believe a Democrat will defeat her in the fall. Connie Burton has been a movement conservative. She's alienated a few people in her own party, but she's steadfast. But the Democrats running against her, Beverly Powell and Allison Campolo, either one of them is capable of winning that seat. There are enough Democrats in that seat. It's Wendy Davis's old seat. There will be money coming into Arlington, and this is part of why I said that a Democrat will win Joe Barton's seat. There will be money focused in Arlington to turn out Democratic votes that will help defeat both Burton and Burton's aide and Barton's aide and Burton.
Barton's aide and State Senator Connie Burton.
Those names, the voters will confuse those names too.
What do you think about that, Ross? How likely is that?
Well, I think that Connie Burton is probably the one to bet on. I'm going to bet against Bud on this, partly because I think Dan Patrick, the lieutenant governor, is going to come in like the cavalry if she's in any trouble. She'll have plenty of money. She'll have plenty of support from the groups. And if the Republicans aren't losing their House seats in Tarrant County, I'm not sure how they can lose a Senate seat at the same time.
I'm going to switch off. My next prediction is going to be about 2018 and how a Republican friend of mine uses this line, and I'm going to borrow it from him. The swamp will continue to drain itself in 2018. He's obviously talking about what's happening in Washington, D.C. with the Me Too and the sexual harassment scandals going on. We've had some high-profile departures. Joe Barton, Blake Farenthold down in Corpus Christi, and others across the country, John Conyers, Al Frank, and others. I don't think we're done yet. I don't know who's next. Our producer said, who are you talking about, Jason? I'm not going to go out there and say any names because I haven't seen any evidence, but I don't think we are done yet.
What about the Austin swamp? That's what we're waiting on.
That's what we're waiting on too. Do you think we're going to see any of this carry over to Austin, Ross?
I think we'll see some. We're seeing some names being mentioned and accused of things. We haven't seen anything really solid yet, but I've been down here a long time. The Texas legislature has been a boys' club for a long, long time. There's a lot going on over there that I think the voters would be undelighted to hear about, and I think they probably will hear about it.
Undelighted to hear about. That's just fascinating because people don't think this stuff exists until it comes to light like we have seen here lately. Ross, you're actually next here with your next prediction, sir.
Yeah, something happened in the mid-2000s that I think might happen again. The federal courts hearing the redistricting case that year came in and said, right after the elections, right after the primary elections, said, we're going to redraw some of these districts, and we had to have a do-over in 5 districts in Texas. I think there's a chance of that this time. The 3 judges hearing the case now have said they're not going to change them for these primaries, but I think they could change them before November, and I think we could get a rumble. I think we will get a rumble somewhere in midsummer.
And changing these maps, give us an idea, how big of a deal could this be? This could affect districts. What could it do? Open up other districts?
Right. So what they did in 2006 was they came in and they said, these maps are wrong. We need to change them. Everybody who ran in these 5 districts has to run again, and we're going to have them on a different map and go from there. It's a just complete do-over. It confuses everybody in politics. It certainly confuses voters, and I think they're primed to do it again.
Throw more districts on the November ballot?
There'd be the same number of districts on the November ballot, but you'd throw out March primaries and do them over in the midsummer.
Wow, and they are as gerrymandered as you can imagine right now, as you guys know. Bud, you have a one that's going to be a talker, definitely.
We have a couple of big names running in the primary, and I just don't see either Brett Shipp or Mike Snyder, the former local anchorman, winning it all. I think that Brett and Mike will both go 0 for 2. Brett's campaign is off to a rocky start. They found out that he voted in the Republican primary. On a talk show in the middle of December, he was talking about how he wants to reach across the aisle and achieve coalitions. You don't say that before the primary. And Mike Snyder is running for Tarrant County tax assessor collector. He's got a couple of established Republicans he's running against, Wendy Burgess and Tracy Coburn, who's Uncle Si's daughter, for gosh sake. It's a TV-on-TV match, and Mike hasn't been in politics enough to win the staunch Republicans.
Ross, what do you think about that? People look at what happened with President Trump getting elected. They say this is, gimmicks are getting elected now. Why wouldn't someone with a higher profile have a better shot?
I think the profile helps you in a short race. So, in the 10 weeks between, or the 8 weeks, I guess, now between now and the primaries, their names will help them. But in the long run, between now and November, a lot of other things come into play, and your name ID plays less and less as the other guy raises more and more money. I think Bud may be onto something here.
And we're 10 weeks out from the primary here at the end of the year?
Voting begins middle of February.
Not exactly. Early voting does as well too.
6 weeks.
6 weeks now from early voting, rather. Finishing up the last one here. My prediction for 2018, my last prediction, is that women candidates will likely outperform, better than they have nationally, in Dallas County and statewide as well, simply because of these sexual harassment scandals that continue to get uncovered. I also think people are kind of tired of where things are right now and we're looking for a change. And I'm hearing that women candidates on the ballot might have an edge.
Well, that's what Democrats are counting on. They're putting women on the ballot up and down the ticket. And although you're being very diplomatic, Jason, just kind of generally saying that women are going to do well without naming the specific one.
There's not a specific. What do you think about that, Ross? Do women have a better shot?
There's a they can do better if they have the candidates and if the issues play for them. In the history of Texas, we've had 5,415 male legislators and just 155 women. So there's a lot of uphill there. You got to get in the races first. You have to have the right issues. It's a long climb.
Jason, this does not apply to Sheriff Lupe, does it?
I'm not going there on my 2018 predictions. Gentlemen, thank you guys very much. We appreciate you being here, and thank you for watching this morning and all year.